Boy,
All right.
Got that grin on his face.
You know what's up. You know what's up.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
what's up?
We're getting straight into it. All right, welcome to the Backspin Podcast. I am DJ Flex.
DJ Q.
And man,
Wowzers.
on just a random Wednesday in June of 2024,
It's going down.
the GOAT. The GOAT in my book.
Yeah,
threw a nuclear bomb over the fence.
Yeah, he did.
DJ Craze responded. Well, I don't know if it's
That's not
responded.
well, yeah, it is a response.
Yeah,
it is a response.
It's a response
Yeah.
to DJ Qbert. Basically, would you say he was calling him out?
You know what's funny? Because like, there's some context of the live that we didn't see before they even got to the part that we all saw. So like, I don't know how they arrived at the whole like Qbert and Craze being in a battle, but you know, at the end of the day, Qbert was like, "Yeah, I'll battle him."
Well, it was politics, right?
Well, I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't see there was a whole live that happened with, looks like, I forgot his name. Like DJ Lotta and maybe like Sure Cuz or something like that. I had to like check it. But there was a live that happened 4 days ago with them and Qbert. They're talking. And the bit that we got was Qbert talking about Craze's scratches, how they're outdated, and he would basically battle him at any time, any place. And yeah, but I don't know how they arrived at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so they've battled. They've crossed paths many a times in the past.
Right.
But what I think this all stems from, actually, I was talking to Boogie B earlier, and he reminded me that there was a live stream, I think a Twitch stream, where Craze was he was saying some things that seemed like they were directed at Qbert. And Boogie actually jumped into the chat and said, "Hey, like, who are you calling out? Like, why are you sneak dissing?" I don't want to put words in Boogie's mouth, but it was something like, "Hey, who are you talking about?"
Right.
And Craze responded and said, "I would respond to them directly, or I would respond to them to their face if I really wanted to say something."
Right.
And so what I think that was about is politics, because Craze is definitely a very liberal guy. And I know we're not a political podcast, and I don't know a lot about politics. All I'm saying is that I think that Qbert's politics rubbed Craze the wrong way. I think.
So you think this is coming back from the 2020 thing with the George Floyd and all that?
I think that it has a lot to do with that. I think it has a lot to do with basically, even in the snippets, you could kind of hear from interviews, you could hear Qbert talking about, I forget what he said, like Hillary was drinking baby blood or something.
Yeah. So if you go back and watch that interview, which I rewatched it today from 2020, when he does the interview, because he said something about, the whole George Floyd thing. He says like all lives matter. That's what supposedly somebody was trying to troll Qbert into saying something about the situation. He responded that all lives matter. His stance is that he didn't know that there was an all lives matter movement that was op to Black Lives Matter.
See, I don't.
So you don't believe that
I don't believe that. I think that he got a bunch of backlash from that and realized like, whoa, I'm definitely tarnishing my brand here. So I need to figure out, I need to play stupid and back out of this situation.
Backpedal.
But I think he knew because of that lines up exactly with the rest of the politics that he's spitting.
Well, he said in that interview, though, he talks about like how he's not really a political person. He talks a lot about, God and this is God's way. And
again, I think that's him just trying to
backpedal.
Yeah, because we're in the hip hop world. And even though like I think there are people that are starting to pop their head out and have a more conservative point of view, I think that the hip hop world still is very much left leaning, very liberal, very
100%, yeah,
democratic.
And
I think just a bunch of people, including Craze, like were calling this out, like, "Hey, man, wait a minute, no, that's not. We don't get down with that." So
I think that could be a part of it, but I would definitely like to see the rest of that live and to see like how they even got to the subject, because that was 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago when that happened. So like, how do we arrive at the whole Qbert versus Craze thing again 4 years later?
Well, I think these guys that were interviewing just kind of, they wanted some clickbait. So they're like, let's stir it up. We know that you guys had, butted heads previously.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Again, I've not watched the podcast. I don't know all the details of it.
But I wonder how I got to like, because you see, like the politics thing and then the scratching thing or like the battling that's separate.
No.
You don't think so?
No. Not in 2024. No. I think that, especially if you're a public figure, it's like you know.
Yeah, but you can't alleviate or squash that kind of opinion through battling. Like that to me is like two totally separate things.
No,
like if you were like, say, let's just be hypotheticals, right? Say you were a right-leaning person and I was a super left-leaning person. We were like, just let's just go to the extremes. Like you back something in the KKK or something like that, right?
Yo.
Right.
Oh, you did.
Like but for us to be like, all right, we'll settle this disagreement or this misunderstanding with the DJ battle about your beliefs on politics. I don't think that lines up.
No, and that's not what I'm saying at all.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, I think that Craze has been carrying a grudge this whole time because he feels like, Qbert's politics are not good or whatever, and we'll talk about that for a second, but in just a second. But I think he's been holding on to that grudge and just waiting for Qbert to say something that he could use as a slight towards him directly to open up the floodgates of the battle.
Yeah.
But when I'm talking about Qbert's politics, is like, I think Qbert is more so a conspiracy theorist. I think that he wants to believe in aliens.
Yeah.
I think he wants to believe in flat Earth.
Yeah,
I think
he's definitely on his what ifs.
On his what ifs, right? But what is also in that, like, QAnon, like far, like all of that kind of goes back to, the whole the election was stolen and Hillary is
But I don't think Qbert got into like, a lot of that though. Like
I think those things are hand in hand. I'm telling you, because he even says in the snippet he goes after Hillary, and I'm not. Well,
he says
backing
so.
Hillary.
I'm
just saying that
he says again. I watched the interview again today, the whole thing. What he says is he's talking about how the political system is. And you could maybe agree with him. He's like, I don't know who's who and who's what. He's like, everybody says all these things. Because what he says about Hillary, he says, people are saying that Hillary's eating babies and supposedly Trump raped this young girl. He's basically saying that, there's so much news and he doesn't know what to believe, so he doesn't pick a side.
Okay.
That's what he says in the interview. Now, is he telling the truth? I don't know, but that's what he's saying. He's not saying that he's on one side or the other.
And this is in the interview where he is retracting all of his previous statements.
This is the interview from 2020 when the whole George Floyd thing came up, and he was talking about the all lives matter.
That's what I'm saying. You're going on the basis of his retraction interview. I'm going more on all the things that he said prior to that, and even after that.
Well, that's what he said when he was talking about Hillary was in that interview.
Yeah, I actually had to stop following him. I'm pretty sure I stopped following him, which is crazy because I remember being so excited that Qbert followed me once upon a time. And then I realized that he he followed like every DJ on Instagram. But there was a time when all that was going on. I was like, dude, your conspiracy theory stuff, like it's making me see you differently because you're putting your politics out there,
right? And
I don't like that either way. If you, it's like, dude, I don't follow you because I need advice on politics. If you want to use your platform for that, that's cool, but that's not what I'm here for. Like, honestly, I try to avoid that as much as I can. There's a time and a place, but I don't need that in my feed when I'm trying to take in like DJ content.
Right.
I want to look at DJ stuff. I don't want to look at conspiracy theories. I'd go somewhere else for that. So I think that's where it originated, was that, you know, there was a grievance.
Yeah.
And then that's the thing. Somebody said, hey, and sent him the link to Qbert, basically saying, I'll battle you anytime.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure Craze saw, because, well, on the story that I saw, Craze is tagged in it. So, and the way that it went down, I mean, it's not like Qbert's like saying things like, oh, I don't want him to find out. No, they're saying in this live, like, yo, if we set up a battle, are you down? And he's like, yeah. So then they're like, Craze, you know, because the dude says he lives in Florida. Obviously, Craze is from Florida. And so it's not I don't think that Qbert thought it was going to be a secret.
Right.
At first, I kind of did. And then I was like, wait a minute. And then I saw that, and I was like, yo, like, he's ready.
And Craze has been looking for an opponent. You know, he's like that boxer, that MMA fighter that nobody wants to fight. Like those Dagestani guys. He's, you know, nobody wants to get.
I mean,
it's like nobody really wants to get in the cage with Craze.
When you win DMC 6 times individual, I mean,
so not to try to, like, you know, I don't know, where are you getting 6? I know there's 3.
Oh, so he's got the 3. No, I'm sorry, not individual. He's got 3 individual, and he's got the team.
Okay, all right.
He's got the team.
Yeah.
My bad.
Okay.
My bad.
Yeah, you said individual, and I was like,
Yeah. He's got the team with A-Track.
Can you tell we're super DJ nerds here?
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. Let's see, man. If Qbert responds, I don't know. I think he wants to. From what, you know, he said, I think he wants to battle in person. He wants
it sounds like he wants to do a live deal.
Let's set up some turntables and go back and back or back and forth and whatever, and dope. Do a DMC style, and then he wants to do like a scratch style battle where it's like, okay, let's just see who can scratch better. Because but the thing is, he's already finding ways out. You know, to me, yeah. It's like, okay, it's like the you know, let's say I said, let's say I'm a boxer, and I'm like, I'll beat you in a boxing match.
Yeah.
And you say, okay, cool, but I want to have a boxing match and I want to have an MMA match.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, hold on a second. You know, it's like, nah. You know, I think that he's kind of preparing for, like, I know I'm gonna lose the all around. Like, if everything's allowed, if it's a battle, I think Qbert knows that he's gonna lose. So he's adding in that caveat of having just a scratch battle, so that he can be like, well, but I'm better at scratching than you.
Well, I think that, like, and Qbert says this, he's like, this whole situation is apples to oranges, right? And I 100% agree with him on that. And I agree with him on some other points about, like, Craze being a 6-minute DMC routine maker, being better at that than than Qbert probably is, and then Qbert maybe being better at just freestyle scratching and different techniques than Craze is.
Okay, but my rebuttal to that, it's the same as the MMA argument, where it's like, all right, you put them in the ring and let them fight in a no holds barred fight. Right. Who wins? So that's who gets to say they're the greatest fighter, because Mike Tyson may be the greatest boxer,
right?
But if you put him in the ring with John Jones and say, all right, y'all do whatever you want, John Jones is going to win that fight.
Right, and the thing is that's what I'm saying.
Primetime Tyson.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it is an apples to oranges thing, because if we go back, like we talked about this on the phone earlier, like, Qbert never won a DMC world title individually. You know what I'm saying? He won the U.S. and then lost at the world level. So, you know, that just shows you, like, as far as, like, that routine based style stuff, like, Craze has got that.
I think he's got it almost everywhere. Like, I've sat and watched some of Qbert scratching, and I respect the skill, man. I really do. You know, like, I know that he is contributed, certain techniques or whatever to turntablism, and forever grateful. But sometimes I'm lost, man. I'm
100%.
watching Qbert scratch and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, I learned this from aliens that came here from Uranus. And I'm like, dude.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, right? So 4 years ago, Qbert came to Kansas City. And me, Chris Brown, one other person went out to check it out, right? And I was always of the mindset, like what you just said about Qbert, right? Like he's always been on this space odyssey, with the wave twisters.
His timing is
kind
of all over the place.
Like this crazy, you don't even know how to explain it, right?
Okay.
So like for me, I've always had this sentiment about Qbert, just like what you just said, right?
I sense a butt coming.
But there
is
is a very large but. Here's the thing about somebody like Qbert. When you're as good as he is, and you have mastered all of like the techniques that we know, then you kind of move on to these like. That's why he gets these alien ideas. He's like, what else can I do?
Right.
Because I've mastered all the techniques that everybody's trying to get good at. The boomerang scratch, the 2-click, 3-click flares, the this, the that. I've mastered all that. So like, again, like, so go to Kansas City to see Qbert. And I've always had this thought, like, man, everybody's got mad respect for Qbert, but like when he scratches, it's just like, I don't know. I don't really follow. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, that night in Kansas City, Qbert decided he was maybe, quote unquote, maybe to him, going to dumb it down and do all the scratches that we know that we try to get good at. And he was going to show us, which he did, that he can do all those scratches plus all that extra stuff that he does.
Right.
And, bro.
Murdered it. I mean, he is Qbert. He is Qbert. He's still LeBron, but he's not Jordan. Or maybe he's Jordan, but he's not LeBron. Whatever you want to slice it, right? Like apples to oranges. Okay, yeah. I will give you.
So yeah, that. I mean, here's the thing too. Like we talk about like winner and loser. I don't think there's going to be a winner or a loser in this situation, right? I think it's an epic situation for the DJ community to see like the goats of the goats go at it. You know what I mean? Take the gloves off and go at it. But it's definitely gonna be two different things happening at the same time.
I think that the Drake and Kendrick beef got them kind of riled up, both of them.
Yeah, like I said, I thought it might have been staged at first.
Yeah, puffing their chest out a little bit. So I don't know. Yeah, I agree. I think this is just like Drake and Kendrick was great for hip hop.
Yeah.
I think that this is great for turntablism. Like this is something that could, just like the UFC brought Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu into focus for Americans.
Yeah.
I think it's this potentially, I'm not saying it definitely will, but I wonder how many eyes are going to be on this. I mean, Craze generates a lot of attention anyways, but I saw this like the hour that he put it out, his first.
Yeah, you were up on it early.
Yeah. I just happened to, look at my phone and saw it. And it had a couple hundred plays or whatever. And like we were talking on the phone about it, and I saw it jump up like 8,000 views.
I'm about to check it right now and see where it's at.
Yeah, see where it's at. Like this has really got the world talking, especially the DJ world.
Yeah.
But I wonder what the crossover is going to be. Like, is my mom going to ask me about it when we have Sunday dinner? She going to go, who is this Craze and Qbert? Can you explain to me what's going on? The way that she did with the Drake and Kendrick stuff.
So right now it's got 2,492 likes and then 246 comments.
But how many views?
Views. That's good. Oh, yeah.
You got to go to Reels.
It's a reel. That's right. That's right.
Click on the Reels.
46.7 thousand views.
Yeah.
In, a matter of a couple hours. So, it hasn't even been out,
a full day.
Yeah. 46,000.
Yeah.
And it looks like Craze is like taking all of his, deleted like all of his social media.
Yeah, I think he hid everything just so that was like the main focus.
Yeah, there's like a couple other things in just that.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see who the veterans, like the Mixmaster Mikes and the 8-tracks and those sort of people, like what they have to say about it. Like I said, I think that this is gonna have the DJ community, the DJ world.
Oh wait, I take this back.
buzz.
Wait a minute. There was 425 comments. Wait, I had to refresh. 425 comments on this on this situation here. Yeah, 46,800 plays, 2,496 likes.
And at this point, we're pretty sure that Qbert's not responded at all, not on Twitter or anything like that.
He hasn't said anything back or anything yet.
That's kind of interesting.
Which I think is, you're right, like that he doesn't really want to respond in like a social media way. He wants to set up a battle.
Well, but he could still say something. But I think he's probably right now in the lab.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, I would be cooking like crazy.
Yeah.
So
and he might be. I mean, the way he was talking on that live, I mean, he sounded like he was about it. You know?
Oh, yeah.
He sounded like he was about it. It wasn't no, oh man, I'll battle him, if he really want to. Nah, he was about it.
And he's heard Craze's previous work, and he still said
Yeah,
that.
they battled before.
Well,
or they've showcased or whatever that was back, when it was.
But even like the 2 Cents mixtapes and just the
he's fully aware.
The YouTube videos and stuff like that of his routines, like he knows what he's getting himself into.
They're both fully aware of what both of them are capable of.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I love it. I love it, man.
It's not like, oh man, who's this guy or who's that guy? It's not even like Drake and Kendrick. Like, I don't think that Drake fully understood the magnitude of Kendrick. When all that was popping off. But this situation, that they fully understand who each other are because they come from the same cloth, right? Like, it's not like Drake and Kendrick where they don't come from the same cloth.
And they've battled before and stuff like that.
Yeah, they've battled before. They've been in the scene for 30 years. I mean, they just come from that same... Where, like, at first, Qbert can come off maybe a little bit quiet, but you get him amped up, he sound like he ready to go.
Yeah, he was cussing and stuff. He's like, I don't give a fuck. I was like, whoa, Qbert.
Yeah. So, like, it's almost like, we talk about, like, Craze being the aggressor, and which he is, and he's known for that. But, like, Qbert, it's like I said, he sounded like he was about it.
Might be a little bit of a sleeper. Yeah,
man. I mean, I think it's just going to be some epic shit. And, I mean... Just because Qbert doesn't juggle, I don't think that he doesn't not know how to juggle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
he's probably an expert on a level that my little brain can not even comprehend. But we'll see.
Hopefully it happens, man. Hopefully it happens sooner than later. Hopefully it doesn't take forever and then it kind of fizzles out. Because Qbert definitely has to respond with something like, "Yo, let's set this up," or he's got to respond in some fashion to keep it going, because if he doesn't, and then like a month goes, or not even a month, if a month goes by, it's a wrap. But like if a couple weeks goes by, they're just gonna fizzle out.
Yeah,
and then it's just gonna be too late. Like now we're such in a microwave time frame, just like with Drake and Kendrick. Like Drake puts out a record, Kendrick puts out one 2 hours later. You can't really wait. So man, I don't know. So let's switch it up. We talked about that for a while.
How's the scratch practice going? What are your thoughts on the scratch group?
Oh, the scratch group is dope. I think that
I know we talked about it a little bit last week, but now it's been another week. It seems, we talked about this a little bit earlier, and you were saying that you're seeing some progress. And
I mean, not for myself, from some other guys. Shout out to DJ TJ. I think that he is taking this whole thing by the horns and is running with it, and is getting everything that he should get out of it, because he's practicing daily, he's posting daily, and I think he's figuring things out from one of the, his first post to the post he just posted. So, I mean, I think that...
Are we saying names?
Yeah, I said TJ.
I know, but I mean, do we want to do that? Because it's kind of private?
No, that ain't private.
All right,
His video might be private, but we can talk about it.
We can talk about who... Yeah, all right. Yeah, I don't know. But, I mean, I've definitely seen some like the people that are actually doing it, because there's a couple of people that I feel like are not consistent. They're putting stuff into the group chat to, but it's here and there, and but the people that are doing it very consistently, like you can see, and hopefully the people that are watching the TJs get better and excel, hopefully that will ignite the drive or whatever in them, and then they will start doing it daily. They might be practicing daily and just not posting daily. I'm not really sure, but
yeah. But I think that like seeing TJ, like what happens is people, they kind of level themselves out, right? Like, so they may see like you and Chris posting all the time, and they're like, oh man, well, I'm not on their level, so. But if you feel like you're on the same level as someone else and they're posting daily and they're getting better, that should drive you to do your thing.
Well, and that's another reason I wanted to make it private, is so that somebody like you could come in there, and shred it. And the person that may not be as good will not feel uncomfortable, because it's not like the whole world is seeing the and making that comparison. The only people that are making that comparison really are in the group, and just I don't care. I know.
I think that people in the group are like, everybody understands like what's happening. Yeah, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. It's maybe, like let's all be vulnerable together. Like there's gonna be days when my stuff's off. I've noticed in myself, I'm starting, things are starting to sharpen up a little bit. I'm starting to get some of the muscle memory of old techniques back. One of the important things for me too is identifying some things that I need to work on. The first week or two was like, all right, let me get back the skills that I think that I already know, and then I'll realize where the gaps are. As far as like, oh man, my flares suck, so I need to like really dial in the flares and try to get those or working both hands. Like I was just working. This sounds so policy, but you know what I'm saying. We're gonna cut that part out. But the but just finding different things you want to work on, and identifying that to me is the stage that I'm at right now, where I'm going, okay, I feel like I'm sharpening things back up now. What is it that I need to identify? Okay, flares. I'm going to work on flares every single day until I get those damn things.
Yeah.
So
that focused practice, like somebody asked a question about that in the group, and I mean, like drilling, that thing that you want to get good at, whatever it is, really taking the time and say, if you got an hour, it'd be like for 30 minutes or 45 minutes, I'm only going to work on this one piece.
Yeah.
I'm not going to work on anything else. I'm not going to freestyle. I'm just going to work on this one piece.
Yeah. If
you do that, you're going to get better at that piece, and then you can start adding it to your arsenal or your toolbox.
Yeah.
So it definitely will take you further than just freestyling, because if you're freestyling, you're just going to go back to what you know, and you're not going to progress. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I'm guilty of that. Super guilty.
Definitely like take that time to. What do I want to get good at? Whether it's, the 2-click flare or a boomerang or, some kind of back-to-back or whatever it is, right? And just really hone in on that thing and focus on that. And really block out everything else that's telling you to say, oh, man, this ain't going well. I'm going to go back to transforms. No, really just keep going. Just keep drilling it, keep drilling it, keep drilling it. And, it'll come to you.
So, I posted a couple things this week. One of them was from that, like I just wanted to do a little scratch routine or whatever that was going to be what I put in as, my daily post or whatever. And I guess I was in a good mood that day or whatever, and it came out pretty good.
Yeah.
And I said, damn, I can just post this. This can be a post. I think that's another cool thing that's coming out of the group is, if you record a clip each day, maybe it's not good enough to post each day, but one of them throughout the week, or maybe after a couple of weeks of practice, eventually you get to the point where, it is good enough that you have something to post. But you'll have like this library of clips of you doing different stuff, but it'll also make you practice in a way to where you're putting something together that you could present. You
Yeah.
could, if you wanted to, so, and that's that kind of area, that focus thing. It's like, yeah, okay, I'll work on techniques, but I also need to work on, like, what would I do live,
Yeah.
in my set, and can I drill that enough? Like, say I want flares, sure, okay, that's one thing, one area of focus, but another area of focus could be, I just want, I know there's a break during this record that I could scratch there. Let me have something prepared for whenever I play that this weekend, that it's ready to go, and I've got it drilled, dialed in, whatever you want to call it. So
Yeah. I mean, the more you practice like different techniques, the more that the other stuff opens up. Like, being out, I always, people will argue like, being a battler or, being a scratcher doesn't mean anything for your regular gigs. And I always argue against that, because what it will do is just make you more creative at, your regular gigs. That's not a battle. That's not a showcase, because you can add these little nuancey things to how you mix, how you're mixing into a song, how you're mixing out of a song, how you're, maybe like you said, you got this little break in the middle of the song that you want to cut up, or maybe it's just adding like some double ups, or, maybe a little quick back to back, or maybe a little cut here, cut there, or whatever. In other words, like, if you don't have that stuff in your arsenal, in your toolbox, you can't do that. And then your mixes are just bland.
yeah,
It's just boring.
It generates attention for you,
Mm-hmm.
and it also distinguishes you from the rest of the pack.
Yeah.
Whenever I hear people talking about, scratch is important, I'm like, you're saying that because you don't do it, and you don't know what it feels like when you do a scratch break in the club in front of a bunch of people, and they're all staring at you with their jaws on the floor, and then you stop, and then they go, yeah, and you get that roar of approval. You've never experienced that, so of course you're going to say it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
or if you have subpar skills that nobody's going to applaud, they're like, man, whoa, glad he's done doing that,
Right,
that's but if you got really sharp skill and technique and you add it into it, I mean, think about even on the house end, the Bad Boy Bills and the James Hypes and all of these people. It's like, man, you actually watch something. A lot of DJs are just waiting 2 or 3 minutes until,
Yeah, what are you doing?
They look like they're pressing buttons and knobs and whatever, but they're not actually doing anything.
What this does is gives you a show.
Yeah.
Right. This gives you a performance, right? Where, if you're just going to stand there and look at the crowd, look at you, and granted, we get it. Like, not everybody's looking at you. We get it. People are drunk. People are dancing. There's other things going on. But there are going to be some people that will turn their head, will see you do something, and they'll be like, oh, shit. So, it does, especially like your situation on stage at, a venue like Tin Roof. You're literally on a stage. Everyone can see you. Mm-hmm. You're not hidden in a booth. Everyone can see you, and when you just standing up there, or you actually gonna do something.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a whole routine, but are you gonna do a little something here, a little something there, a little something here, a little something there, in between records, where people are like, oh shit, this DJ is doing something. You know what I mean? Like, if you're just standing there and like, okay, what's the point?
Yeah. You all right over there?
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. A little heartburn. But yeah, man, it definitely adds. It gives you a show. It gives you a performance, and that's to compete. Like, if you look at like the other kind of entity that performs at like a venue like a Tin Roof is a band, right? And the band has a show. And if you're just a DJ that just plays records and you ain't got no show, man, that band's gonna eat you up.
Yeah.
Every time, because they got a show. Yeah. So,
but we talked about generating attention. It's like I've seen so many posts. I see a lot of posts, I guess I should say, of DJs. It's just a picture of them standing behind the turntables. Mm-hmm. And in my opinion, I'm probably gonna get some hate mail because of this. It's like, even though I do it myself, it's kind of stale. Like, you gotta have do something, do a mix, like capture those moments where like you're doing a mix or doing something creative or doing a scratch or even if you're just holding your headphones and dancing around and singing along, like do something like that. That's going to create a lot more attention.
Well, one
And
thing
the
I will say, just to rebuttal that, is the fact that like a lot of times DJs are by themselves, so it is tough to
It
get
is.
to capture content of you doing your thing when you are by yourself. Now, one thing you can do is get like a little tripod, put it in your bag or something like that. Maybe that might help. But getting it set up just right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's tough, man, to try to get like some good content. Like there's been definitely some moments for me that I'm like, man, I wish I had somebody
Yeah.
here. You know what I'm saying? That would have caught this.
Yeah.
But I'm by myself, so I will say that. But you are right. Like being able to capture moments if you can, and post those moments rather than you just standing there, is definitely more appealing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DJs, if you don't have an iRig, I highly recommend an iRig. We're doing the podcast right now using an iRig just plugged into a phone. When I make
Yeah.
my little videos,
Yeah.
of me DJing, or I just put out a mix on YouTube, which check out my mix on YouTube. That's just iRig into the mixer, into the phone, and that way you're getting good quality sound.
Yeah.
But you can do that at a live gig. You can do
Yep.
that in your kitchen, your basement, wherever. I've got some ideas, and I'm just gonna throw this out there, right? Because again, we are here to help people. Here's what you do, because I just put out a mix, and I'm getting a really good response from it. And if you don't have a mix up on Mixcloud, YouTube, SoundCloud, something like that, I really like doing YouTube because there's so many people on YouTube versus,
Yeah,
how
there's
many
billions.
people go to SoundCloud, and the
Yeah.
algorithm seems to want to help you. At least it seems like it's wanting to help me, especially if it's a decent mix and people start liking it and giving it a thumbs up. So here's what you do. You get an iRig, and it's $100, maybe 120, 130, 40 bucks. I
I
don't
will
know
say
what
they're
it is.
getting a little hard to find though.
I had no issue.
Yeah, well, we've had them for a hot minute now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, get one or something like that to where you can go out of your mixer and into your phone.
Yeah, there's a couple other like devices out there, but you can
A couple
search
other
that, yeah.
devices, something like that.
Yeah.
If you got questions, throw it in the comments, and we'll try and point you in the right direction. And I can reach out to me. I'll give you more explanation. And then figure out what kind of set you want to do. Do you want to do R&B? Do you want to do throwbacks? Do you want to do house music? Whatever, right? Practice that set one time or two times, whatever, and figure out where you're going to get in and out of those records. Make sure that, it's in key. You have some ideas of how you are going to work through that, let's just say 30-minute mix. You hook it up, you record it, you go into Canva, which is a free app. You have a picture, you can, do cutouts, you can do all kinds of different stuff in there. Literally, I learned how to use Canva in a couple of minutes. I created the cover in 5 minutes. So I put my mix together, like a handful of R&B songs into a crate. I ran through a couple of songs, and I was like, okay, I got this. Hit record, stopped it, got on Canva, created the what's it called, the background, the thumbnail, and loaded it up on YouTube, and
All from your phone.
all from my phone.
Yeah, because you can. Yeah, I mean,
It took a while to load because
did you do 4K?
yeah,
again?
because it was
Yeah.
4K. But other than that, I mean, the whole thing took me like 45 minutes. It was nothing. And why would you want to do that? You're not going to make any money. It raises your profile. People that are looking for you, looking for a DJ in other cities or whatever, like there's other guys like Nick Spinelli that I had no idea who Nick Spinelli was. And I discovered him on YouTube, and now he's like a household name everywhere. There's all these different DJs that we wouldn't know who they were, but they're putting out content on YouTube. And that's one of the main places. I don't discover a lot of artists on SoundCloud. I'm not really looking there a lot. I'm not really discovering a lot on Mixcloud. I go and find people that I already know. But YouTube is a great place, in your social media or whatever, having people share stuff on social media or Instagram or whatever. But yeah, if you're not doing that, I highly, highly, highly recommend. And you're like, okay, well, how often should I do that? If at minimum, I'm going to say quarterly. Do a spring mix, fall mix, whatever.
Yeah.
If you can do it monthly, that would be great. And I highly recommend you play sets that you're comfortable playing out. So, I don't play a lot of house music. So me doing a house set would be like a little bit out of character. But if I play a lot of R&B and hip hop, that's my brand, or that's what I'm pushing. Unless you want to get more into and booked for other genres, other types of music. But yeah, if you were looking for a sign from the universe that like you need to post a mix, it is not difficult. There might be a couple of pieces of equipment that you need. You might need the tripod. You might need the little clamp that holds your phone into place, and you might need an iRig. Other than that, you probably have everything that you need to get the show on the road. And yeah, just
I mean,
knock it out.
Don't even. I mean, the dope thing about YouTube is like, you don't even need to make it that. And that not that it's complicated, but you could even go the route of making a mix, audio wise, just recording in Serato, creating a thumbnail, and then using that thumbnail as just like a picture or some kind of just graphic that plays. It doesn't have to be a video of you, and that'll make your upload speed a lot quicker. But I think the takeaway from what you're saying is like, first of all, don't overthink it.
Yeah.
And then it's easy for you to get content out, and the more content you get out, the more awareness you bring to yourself. And that's what, as a DJ, like, you want to sell yourself, whether it's getting whatever kind of gigs you want to get. If you want to try to travel, even if you're trying to be a wedding DJ, like, there might be people that might want to be like, what kind of music do you play? And obviously, like, a lot of us DJs, we pretty much play everything, right? We can play everything. But say you want to sell yourself as like, I got the best wedding mix, right? Like, you got the best mix of Whitney Houston and The Journey or whatever it is, right? And you want to sell that, as that's what you do. Put it on YouTube, make that mix, put it out there. So when people ask, what do you do? Oh, here's my YouTube link.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And you send that link. And now, since it's so like, you can do everything from the phone. You can create on the phone, you can upload on the phone, you can distribute with the phone. Back in the day, we used to have to do make a tape deck mix or something like that if you want to go way back. And then, or you talk about like trying to burn, like make a mix to burn to a CD and all that. Now it's like, if you got, and it doesn't matter, you don't need an iPhone or Android or iPhone, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right? Either one works.
Yeah, and you can meet people and just send them a link.
Yeah, you send them a link. You just text them the link. Yeah, it's not even like, oh, well, I need your email, or I gotta, send this type of file or that type of file.
You meet a promoter, club owner, something like that, another DJ, and you're like, hey man, I DJ. Like, I've had so many people tell me that they DJ that like I'm just like, okay, cool. Everybody DJs. My grandma's dog DJs. But if you're like, no, like for real, I do, and here's a link to a mix of me, and I can.
It's your demo.
Yeah, and that's your demo.
Yeah, we used to make a demo tape or a CD,
and I can see how you act live. And it's not, it's like, oh, okay, he dances around a little bit, or oh, he gets on the mic, or oh, he whatever. I can see that. It's something that's so easy to capture, and in my experience, the YouTube algorithm helps you. Like, I think it knew that I put out an R&B mix, so the first day my people listened to it, and I got just a handful of listens. But I think the YouTube algorithm picked it up and was like, oh, we know what this is. This is a mixtape. It's an R&B throwback R&B mixtape. All right, cool. Yeah, we're gonna throw it out there and show it to people and see if people click on it. People are clicking on it and they stay listening to it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, well, this must be quality content. If people are staying engaged, let's show it to more people. And I'm just watching that number have exponential growth over the last 48 hours.
Here's the dope thing too. It's there for, I won't say forever, but forever. As long as YouTube's around, It's gonna be there, right? So maybe it's next year, and you're like, man, I made this dope R&B mix that I want to just repurpose or get some more eyes on. Guess what? Send the link out.
Yep.
Right? Like, and now, the world is all on social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat. Everything is linkable, right? Like, you can put that link on Facebook, you can put that link on Instagram in the stories, you can put that link on TikTok, you can put that link on Snapchat, right? So if you got time to be on those platforms, if you're on Snapchat just scrolling through looking at nonsense, guess what? You can be on Snapchat putting the link to your YouTube video on there to get views, right? And to get attention.
Did you see my Instagram story from yesterday promoting the mix?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
With the flowers?
Yeah.
Guess how I made that?
You made it through Instagram, didn't you?
Yeah. Just AI.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hip.
It's like it's generative AI for artwork.
Mm-hmm.
So you might go, well, my artwork sucks, or I have no skills in Canva or whatever.
Yeah.
You can. There's applications now or software now, whatever. They will generate it for you. You just tell it like, hey, I want this information to be on. I want this to be in the background. Use this picture. And it will generate something that looks dope for you. So all you got to do is record the mix, and all the other tools are free and ready to use and excuse me, dummy proof, pretty much. Like if you figured out how to DJ, you can definitely figure out how to use, this other stuff. So,
man.
I'm sorry, am I beating a dead horse here?
No, the whole point of it, the shit's easy, right? Like, it's easy to create. If you, like you said, if you can figure out how to use your, laptop to run Serato, you can figure out how to use your phone to record your mix and upload it to YouTube or whatever, right? We live in, 2024. And if you don't want to figure it out, then you don't want to get the benefits. So don't complain.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a whole nother thing right there. And I don't want this to turn into like a self-help thing, but how much do you really want it? Because I think there's a couple of points I want to make here. It's like, I think a lot of people want to talk about being something or doing something.
That's because it's easy.
No, it's not because it's easy. It's because what you can do is you can get credit, you can get points, whatever you want to call it, ahead of time for something that you may not even do, right? So the dopamine or whatever of like people stroking your ego, like, yeah, man, I'm thinking about getting back into making some mixtapes, and like, oh man, that would be cool. You're basically hearing, oh, you're cool, right? But you're getting credit for something you've never even done. You're just talking about doing that thing.
Yeah, but you're just like,
for me, you don't get no credit. You don't get to talk about, I'm getting back into mixes. All right.
Yeah, you don't
send
get
me
no credit
one when
from
you
us.
get it. Yeah, send me one when it's done.
Right.
Don't tell me what you're gonna do. Show me that you're doing it, or show it to me when it's done, and and then we'll talk. But I think that's the thing, is a lot of people just want to talk about it and don't want to actually have the follow through.
Like all the DJs that retire and then say that they're coming out of retirement.
Well, yeah, they retired because they lost their gig, and then somebody else asked them to DJ. Like, okay, well, I guess I can come back.
Yeah. Man, it'd be so dope.
I think that it's DJing is like, if you if you're a DJ, you're always a DJ. There's no retiring. You could be 60, 70 years old, and somebody has a backyard barbecue, and you're like, okay, I know what to do.
Well, if you're like us for real, like if it's not just, we talked about this last week, if you're just a paycheck DJ, then you'll just come and go. Like we hear people out, man, I used to DJ in college and blah blah blah. That's cool. You're not my peer. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they're trying to be on your level. With
you try. No, that's not what we do.
We are not the same.
I might not DJ a gig for a year, but I'm still DJ Q.
What does Kendrick say? They not like us.
They not like us all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went a time period where I wasn't DJing, but I'm still known for who I am, and like you said, I'll always be like, if it get to a point where it's like, oh man, I'm just not gonna do any gigs anymore, but I'm still gonna find a way to DJ in some form of fashion.
Yeah. If nobody's ever mentioned you to me, you know, ever, like I've never heard of you. Man, that doesn't mean you don't DJ, but you need, unless you're brand new.
You brand new. You just moved here from somewhere, and we don't.
And not that I know, like I've been surprised before. I have definitely come across some people that they've never crossed into my algorithm at all from St. Louis that were damn good, damn good. I'd love to say their names, but I'll let it chill. But you know, so it's possible. It's possible, but they're currently active. You know, I'm just saying that people that are like, I DJ'd back in the day. It's like, wait a minute, in the day. And I never heard of you back then.
Especially with us, man, because we've been. I mean, if you DJ'd back in the day and we don't know it, you had to DJ like in the '60s or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you're at the point now where like, nah, you know, and we know. And the thing about us is we know who was DJing back in the day. Who was really doing what back in the day. Yeah. We know, especially in St. Louis. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, no, don't give me that. Oh, man, I used to DJ. I know you did. First of all, no, you didn't. Second of all, nah.
Second of all, no, you didn't.
No, you didn't. Like, nah, you ain't going.
So you got any gigs coming up this weekend?
What's this weekend? Oh, yeah, I'm at Club Europe this Friday with old Stewart.
That's right.
Stewart and Chris Abel, man, over there at the college party.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
I saw some pictures from, I think it was last week, the phone party they had there.
It's a wild gig. What's interesting about that gig, though, is the setup. It's 4 CDJ 2000s and a 900 mixer. And, you know, if you don't DJ that way anymore, and you go DJ over there with them, and you're used to, like, you know, all your little cue buttons and man, you ain't gonna be ready. You better be, man.
Damn. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, it's like you gotta like DJ, and it's not even like, and where you gotta put your laptop, since it's four CDJs, you gotta put it like way off to the side. So you know,
but you've done it. Did you kind of struggle through it, or
no? I had no issues, man. You know, I'm an OG. Look, no, but I could see where there's some DJs that have come through that I'm like, I know they struggling.
Yeah,
they struggling. They struggling heavy because they ain't got, because their laptop isn't right in front of them.
Yeah,
they don't have all their cue points. They don't have all this and that. You know what I'm saying? Like they struggling. They struggling heavy.
Yeah.
But but it's cool though, because you know it's just different. I kind of like the regressed setup. You know what I mean? Because then it kind of takes you back a little bit. And I mean everything's there. I love it when everything's there. I don't care.
I think it's a lot of EDM there, right?
You know what? Like it kind of started that way the first couple times, but now I think that like just like with every other club, like, they're opening it up a little bit more. So basically, you know, there's 3 DJs that will play. Me, Stewart, and Chris Abel. And Chris will usually open and play more EDM-ish. I'm like the guest, so I'll play in the middle. And then Stewart will close it out. Well, the way Stewart operates, because Stewart's been a promoter for a while, is he wants to mix things up. He doesn't want to be like the same thing all night. So, you know, having the 3 DJs helps that. Like I said, Chris will probably do more EDM-ish. I may do like more currents and more quote-unquote turn-up. And then Stewart will finish it out with a kind of a mixture of EDM-ish and some maybe the turn-up records that I didn't play. So, you know, it's a mix of what's going on. I think they've let go of it being a full-on EDM club because, you know, especially with the crowd, they got a young crowd that's coming in. You know, they just don't
want stuff they know.
They want stuff they know, right? Exactly. They don't, you know, that EDM thing. I think it really has reserved itself for the festival situation. Outside of that, unless it's like a show, you know, maybe over at Rise or something like that, where they've sold tickets for somebody specifically.
Yeah.
I don't think it really goes off. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really pop off like that. Unless the beginning of the night is cool because nobody's really there. You know, but when the crowd gets there, they want records they know. Especially with a young crowd. And when I say young, I mean, I think I want to say they doing 18.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I looked at the pictures and I definitely said I'm way too old to go to that spot. No offense, but
Definitely
I will
too
not
old
be
to
there
hang out. No,
Yeah, I will
because
not be
you're in
there.
a booth and chilling
Yeah,
behind the wall.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not in the crowd. You know, not by any means. No, I won't be there on like a random night just kicking it. No.
Yeah. Anything else? Any other?
In-store gig in Nordstrom on Saturday.
Oh, boom.
Yeah.
Cool. Maybe I'll come through and.
Yeah. You like to come through on them Nordstrom gigs. I had them Nordstrom gigs. I just be up there chilling.
Man, I like shopping, bro.
Here we go shopping. Yeah. I'll be at.
I need to slow down though. I need to slow down on the shopping.
I gotta look and see if I'm at West County Mall or the Galleria. I can't remember.
Yeah, I literally was kind of like cleaning out my closet and my drawers and stuff. I'm like, damn, I'm like literally running out of room. I got to rotate some of the stuff out.
Shit around.
Yeah, it's just my name is Flex. Need I say more?
Right. As we're sitting here, he's got snake skin dunks over in the corner.
Don't judge me, bro.
Yeah,
Did you see those other ones? Those Autries?
Oh yeah, the
white
Autries,
ones, which are like some like high-end Italian leather.
I don't even know.
Air Force Ones.
Mm-hmm.
They're crazy.
Yeah.
But they're comfy. They're like real nice.
Tin Roof Sunday.
Tin Roof Sunday.
Father's Day, man. Like.
Oh, it's Father's Day?
Yeah, Sunday's
Shit.
Father's Day.
Well, I ain't got a father, so
I'm chilling with the kiddo.
Yeah.
This Sunday. Yeah.
And then yeah, man. This mix that I put out a couple days ago, it just really made me realize that I think it's not like it's the new frontier. People have been doing it, but like social media, having stuff on YouTube, all of that, like you gotta build your profile there, people. You know,
Yeah.
Especially for somebody like me that's only doing like my Sunday gig. Like I'm not gonna be a 5-night a week kind of guy, but if I want to stay relevant, if I want to stay, one of the top guys in St. Louis, or at least make my way to becoming one of the top guys in St. Louis, I think that, social media and YouTube mixes and all that kind of stuff is going to be where it's at for me. So
that's how James Hype became James Hype.
Yeah.
James Hype became James Hype from posting YouTube videos and making mixes.
Yeah.
That's where he came from.
Yeah. And I'll gradually get better and more comfortable and whatever. But, I used to get nervous when the camera's on. And not anymore. Now I'm chill. I'm relaxed. And that was the point, was constantly turning the camera on. Yeah. So I wasn't getting nervous whenever Boogie B's calling me. I'll call him
Boogie
back.
B.
Yeah. That's the homie, dude. That's the homie. Shouts out. I know we shouted him out before, but man, that's the homie.
Did he win that battle he was telling me about a couple weeks ago? He won that?
Yeah. He won the initial, but then
I need to hit him up. I need to borrow some money.
There's going to be a final. I think it's going to be him versus Nick Davis. In the finals, I believe.
I like Nick Davis, but homie Boogie B gonna smoke him.
Well, yeah, we're St. Louis.
Smoking.
So, all right, man. I'm gonna wrap this up. What? Any final words?
That's it, man. We're gonna see what happens with this Craze and Qbert situation.
Okay.
I'm excited for it though. It's dope.
All right. Dope. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We will catch you next week. And, we're out here.
Peace.
Oh, that was a good one.